Hi, class. This is the course navigation video. I'm going to try to balance being quick, but also being as thorough as I need to make sure that you are set up for success. So this is the Brightspace homepage, and you'll see the navigation bar here in green, the links there. That is at the top of your page before you enter any specific course. So I want to go over this just briefly. You'll have your class progress where you can see your grades, calendar. Student resource guide has lots of useful information. I'll click there just quickly to show you if you need tutoring, writing center, math center, library, tips for success, all that great stuff is there for you. And then the next tab over, Brightspace Help. I'm not going to go through these videos with you, but I do encourage you to watch these, especially if this is your first semester or first time taking a course with Brightspace. Um, to click on the video, just click on the little movie icon there. I do encourage you to at least watch this course navigation or course content video, if nothing else. So, and then use the other ones as needed. And then the My C State 2.0 will always take you back to My C State 2.0. So I'm going to go back into Brightspace. Another quick little feature that you might find helpful is this course selector tool here, where you can click on that and it'll show you all of your courses and you can jump to a specific course that way. But for this purpose, this video, I'm going to click in our course by scrolling down, and it is right here. So I'm going to go into our course and then we'll navigate from there. You'll see the course, the navigation menu changes once you're in a course. So the menu here is content, which we will get to course content another way, but you could also get to it from here. See your grades for this particular course, class progress, calendar, discussions, class list, Brightspace help, and then the student resource guide. Both of those were out on the My C State Brightspace navigation bar as well, but they're there for you for quick access. Okay, so from there, in our particular course, you can scroll down and you will see some areas, or they're called widgets here within the course. But on the right-hand side is just some general information. So announcements will appear here. You have a quick link to your Surge Mail and your OneDrive. And here's some quick information about me. If you want to get to my email or phone number quickly, that's a quick way to do it. And then some to-dos based on calendar items in the course. Where you're going to begin is with Start Here. So I'm going to click there and we'll navigate from there. So in Start Here, you will see course info. There's a little bit about our course, Financial Accounting. Meet your instructor. That was another video that I provided. If you haven't watched that yet, I encourage you to do so. And then this is where the course navigation video will be, and the syllabus. I do encourage you to print and read thoroughly the syllabus. I'm going to click on it and go through a few items just to highlight for you, but you really should read it all. You'll find later in the course, as it is stated here on the syllabus, that your textbook for this course is included with your tuition, so you do not need to purchase a textbook. It's already been billed to you, and it's available here in Brightspace, and there'll be links, and I will show you those in a little bit. Description, learning outcomes, all the fun stuff we're going to be doing this semester, which a lot of it's not going to make any sense at this point until you learn a little bit more, but we are going to be covering, as you'll see here, chapters 1 through 13. We do skip around a little bit after chapter 9. So after chapter 9, we skip to 13, then back to 11, then 10, and then 12. So that's just a little nuance that I'll alert you to. And then you can see the general weeks that we're going to be covering the various chapters and dates for specific quizzes, cases, exams, things like that. So this is the general calendar as it is highlighted here on the syllabus. Each chapter has its own due date schedule or assignment dates. So you'll see the actual individual assignments for chapter one along with the due dates for that chapter. So this is just general information here, but you'll get all of the specifics within the chapter folder. And I'll show you that in a bit as well. Scrolling down past that, you'll see the grading component. The course is worth 1,000 points. There is 40 points of extra credit or bonus points available in the course, so you can take advantage of that if you need to or would like to. And then there's information about email communication and my response time, grading expectations and the response time, academic integrity. So please be aware of that, and you need to do your own work. AI is not prohibited in this course, so again, be sure that you are doing all of your own work. The no-show policy, this is from the standard language from the catalog, and it is very important that you're aware of this, that you are financially responsible for the course, even if you are dropped for no-show, for non-attendance. So I don't want you to be in that situation. You need to do an assignment to be counted as attending this course. So just watching a video and just clicking around in the course does not constitute attendance. You will need to do an assignment. And that is the college policy when it comes to attendance in a 100% web asynchronous course, which is what this course is. So you will need to do an online activity, graded or ungraded, but there really are no ungraded activities. So you'll need to do a graded assignment to be counted as present. And that no-show period is for the first 2 weeks of this course. After that period, you can be dropped for non-attendance if you are not attending at least consecutively any 20% period of time. So if there's a 20% period of time where you're not active and participating and attending, you can be dropped. So you do not want to be in that situation either. So keep active in the course to prevent that. And then, as it says here, that attendance policy and the no-show policy, other than no-show policy and the administrative withdrawal process I just talked about, there's no attendance policy like if you miss so many, your letter grade's going to be dropped or anything like that. The only attendance policy we have are the standard college policies around no-show and administrative withdrawal. I will make an announcement to give you more detail about each exam, the content-wise, like what kind of problems to expect, how many multiple choice, that kind of thing. But this policy tells you that there is a window of time that you have to take the quizzes or exams, and you need to take them during that time. As it states here, there are no makeups allowed for these type of assignments. So they're open for several days, so you need to take the exam during that window of time. Again, be sure to go back and read all of this in detail. I'm just trying to hit the highlights. There are no makeups for exam quizzes, cases, or assignments. So again, be sure you have a lot of flexibility in this course, but you just need to make sure that you do things by the deadlines, by the due dates. Same goes as we just talked about with assignments. Late assignments are not accepted. One nice thing about this course is that the assignments are on Connect, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. But you get multiple attempts. So if you don't do well on the first try, you could do it again. But all of that has to be done by the due date. So you need to allow time for that. So in case you do need to redo something, that you still are able to get it done by the due date. Cases are longer problems than typical homework assignments. And they, as far as points go, they're equivalent to an exam. They're like 125 points. In some cases, they're more than an exam in terms of points. And you do get multiple attempts, again, by the due date. So just be sure that you do your work and get it done on time. Late cases are not accepted. So this is the accounting department policy. So just be sure that you get your work done on time. If there's assignments that you don't get done and you want to earn some extra credit, as I said, there are 40 points of extra credit available. There is a Learn Smart for each chapter, and those are worth 3 points apiece, and they are all purely optional and extra credit points. The rest of the syllabus here, conduct, dress code, applies to more of in-person classes. It's boilerplate language. Same goes for the writing. We don't do a lot of writing in this course. It's a lot of number crunching. Um, there's disability services information there. So if that applies to you, you can contact them and they will get me the appropriate accommodation paperwork. Title IX, again, college policy information, Maxient, also from the college catalog, information about advising, how to contact your advisor if you are in the business division. Co-op, all of our degree programs here at Cincinnati State require co-op, so there's a bit of information about that. And then how to withdraw from a course and some precautions. If you are considering that, I do encourage you to come back and look at this before you just simply withdraw. And then financial aid consideration, especially if you're considering withdrawing or dropping the course, that you take that into consideration if you are receiving financial aid. And then observance for religious observances. If this applies to you, you must notify me in writing within 14 days of the first day of instruction of this course to receive that accommodation. And then our wonderful information technology help desk information. If you're having technical problems as far as your computer, your email, accessing Blackboard or Brightspace, their information is there and they can help you with those sorts of things. There's a section on the course about technical help, which we'll go over in a minute. If you're having Connect or your ebook issues, that's a separate contact number, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then additional resources, that student resource guide that I mentioned earlier has all this information in there as well. So that is the syllabus, the Cliff Notes version. So I do encourage you to print this and read it and have it handy so you don't miss any important information. All right, go back to where we left off here. Textbook information, as I said, the cost of the book is included in your tuition, and it is an ebook within our Brightspace course. If you would like to purchase a loose leaf version of the book to have handy, if you're the type of person who wants to see it and highlight and mark in the book, you can purchase a discounted version of the loose leaf book via our bookstore. And then it tells you the information about the book. Accounting tutoring is available. I know it's early. You are probably not thinking about needing a tutor at this point, but if you do run into consistent trouble where you're having difficulty with the course, that is a great option. It is free. And here is a link to their page where you can get the schedule of when the tutoring is available. And then technical help. The IT help desk that I mentioned a minute ago, here's their number again, super easy, 569-1234. And then if you're having Connect or ebook issues, here's their number at 1-800 number. If you are having trouble with the course content, with the accounting part of it, that's where I come in. So you can ask your question on the discussion board, email me, call me, or you could use the accounting tutoring if it's an ongoing thing and you need ongoing, consistent help. All right, so that is the start here welcome area. All right, I'm going to go back to our course homepage. Next, we'll look at the assignment due date sheet. So I'll click there. And here is our due date sheet. Again, this is pretty general, kind of similar to what you saw on the syllabus. It shows you each chapter, how many points possible, if there are bonus points, when the due date is for that particular chapter. It doesn't show you all the individual assignments, but it shows you in general what you're going to be doing and what's due on particular dates. You'll see that most of your assignments for the individual chapters are due on Wednesdays. Quizzes, exams, and cases are open for an extended period of time, so Thursday through Mondays. And that is consistent all the way down except for the very last exam. Exam 3 opens on a Wednesday instead of Thursday, but it closes on Saturday. And that is because Saturday, May 2nd, is the last day of this semester. So there are no more days past that. So we don't get Sunday and Monday as well. But the exam does open a day earlier to accommodate that. I'll show you in the individual chapter folders where the details are for each one of the chapters. All right. You can print this schedule. This link here takes you to a PDF document that you could print and have it handy if you would like. Go back to our course. And then instructor videos. Every chapter, I have instructor videos where I'm going through the material, the course material. Typically, I'm using the PowerPoint from the publisher, and I'm going through and explaining and providing more detail and context. Usually in each chapter, I have at least 2 videos and then one for where I'm going through an actual problem. So in chapter 1, I'm going through problem 17A, which is one of the more difficult problems in the chapter. That's what I typically try to do, is go over one of the harder ones with you and explain it. So you'll want to watch those videos as you're studying and doing your work for each chapter. And I try to make them like no more than 30, 35 minutes. So that's why I break them up into several videos so that you're not sitting there for an hour, even though you could pause and come back to it and that sort of thing. All right, so you want to be sure that you watch those so that it kind of takes the place of when you would be in class. And then doing the actual assignments, you'll go to this course assignments. And I'm just going to go through this course content page and then chapter 1, and that should give you the basis. All the other chapters are set up exactly the same. So this page tells you what's going to be in each chapter folder. So each chapter folder is going to contain the assignment page or due dates sheet for that chapter, a link to the ebook, which takes you right to that chapter, some other course materials for that chapter, including the objectives. Um, there's PowerPoints and things like that. They're not graded items, they're just materials for you. And then a graded assignment folder, which that is where all of your graded assignments will be. And there's links to take you right to Connect where you will actually do the work for the assignments. So let me show you an example. In chapter 1, we have like the list of contents, and then if you scroll down, you will see each one of those contents. So here is the due date schedule, and I'll go through this one with you, and just all the chapters are set up like this. So you will have the due date over here on the far right-hand column. You'll notice that they're all typically the same date on Wednesday, as we just talked about. But the Learn Smart, the bonus ones, are due the last day of the semester. So if you don't do it with chapter 1, but later on you realize you need some bonus points, you can come back and do them. You have them, they'll be open until the end of the semester, May 3rd and May 2nd. All right, so within chapter 1, there are some things that are listed that are not worth points. You'll see that point column out there, there's 0. There's just things you need to do to prepare to be able to do the assignments and learn the material. So read the chapter, read the lecture notes, watch my instructor videos, review the need to know problem in the book, which goes through a problem and how to solve it, similar to the video that I do. Watch the chapter 1 videos. There are videos provided by the textbook publisher in addition to the ones that I have provided. Theirs are shorter and sweeter, where mine are more in-depth. And I hit more of the topics that I know that are difficult and challenging and explain the reasons and all that kind of good stuff. So, but the chapter videos are also, they're well done. They're just short, very short and sweet. Um, Connect we talked about, that's the Learn Smart Smart Book assignment where it's bonus. And then you'll see the individual assignments, the list of the individual assignments. It tells you what page in the textbook that they are found if have the loose leaf book and you're following along, how much time typical you would need to devote to doing that particular assignment, what the topic of it is, what it's about, um, how many attempts you get. Typically, it's going to be 3 attempts, and how many points they're worth. So every chapter will have one of those assignment pages. Following that is the ebook link. So if you click here to chapter 1, that will take you over to Connect. The first time you will need to register or sign in to Connect. If you have not used Connect before, you'll need to register. And then your chapter resources, materials, they're not for points. These are just resources. So your objectives, what we're going to be learning in the chapter. I'm going to click on that one to show you. Well, that's because I am a demo learner. Let me take that off for just a moment. And let me go back. Taking just a second here to open. Okay, so you'll take you over to Connect, and then you'll click on the actual document. And it will be our objectives for that particular chapter. And the significance of these objectives is it tells you what you need to learn for that particular chapter. It is essentially your study guide for the test. So, for example, one of the things we need to learn in chapter 1 is we have to be able to define accounting. We need to be able to describe generally accepted accounting principles, etc. So, if you do not know the definition of accounting, you're probably going to miss questions on an assignment or on a quiz or on the first exam. So you literally could use this to help you study for the exam. So that's why I wanted to open that, even though it took a little minute there, to show you the importance of that. Lecture notes, you can read through those. And then these are the publisher provided videos. So there's usually a number of them for each chapter. They're pretty short and sweet. And then the chapter PowerPoint is provided as well. So plenty of resources for you to learn the materials in addition to my lecture videos. Um, and then finally, your graded assignment folder. So this list of assignments are the same ones that were on the assignment page, the assignment sheet that we looked at earlier. This is where you're going to go to actually do them. So you would click on the link and it will take you over to Connect to complete the assignment. So I'll just click on Student View so you can see just an example of what the assignment looks like. Continue. And this particular one, notice, has 2 parts. So there's a part A and a part B. So you'll want to make sure that you do both parts before you hit submit. You can put in some answers. I'm just going to pick something just for fun. I'm not even reading it. You can go up here in the top right-hand corner and check your work. And it'll tell you if it is right. Wow, I should play the lottery. I got both of them right and I didn't even read it. Okay, so um, just that's a good feature. Check your work so you'll know if you're on the right track. And you'll see me as I go through my lecture videos and I do problems with you. I'll give you more tips and things about how to work in Connect. So I'll X out of those things. And that's your graded assignment folder. I will point out in chapter 1, there is one thing that is tricky, and it's problem 17A. 17A has multiple parts. In requirement 3 of the problem, it's asking about the statement of cash flows. We are not going to be learning the statement of cash flows until chapter 12. But in this part, there's no way for us to take out that part of the problem. So we provided you the solution. So if you click here on this link, problem 17A, requirement 3 solution, it will give you the answer. I'm not crazy about it. We don't typically have you entering something that you haven't learned. But in chapter 1, it's not horrible because you're still learning Connect, and it's helpful to be able to learn how to put the numbers in, whether you include minus signs or don't include minus signs, and where to place it in Connect and things like that. So um, you will need to access this solution to be able to put those answers in when you complete problem 17A. So as it says here, you're going to use the solution. So you'll want to download this, bring it up on your screen, take a picture of it or something so that you have it accessed so that when you go to do problem 17A, you'll have the answers for requirement 3 that you need to enter. And from there, each of the chapters are set up just like chapter 1. So if I click on chapter 2, you will see the same items, the due date schedule, the ebook link, the chapter materials, and then the graded assignments. And each chapter is typically about this number of assignments. So you'll get the flow of it after you're into chapter or 2. So just don't forget that I'm here if you have any questions or get stuck on anything. You are not alone in this course. That's what I'm here for. So that concludes our course navigation video. But let me know if you have any questions.